From the Center for the Arts studio, this is Good Afternoon Ashland. I'm Ethan Jenkins.
And I'm Caitlin Meeks. Thanks for tuning in.
The Office of Institutional Advancement at Ashland University reported a record day of giving, which was held from March 23rd through the 24th. This was a 36-hour period of donating to different functions of the university, such as student scholarships and study abroad trips. More than $350,000 were raised during the 8th annual Day of Giving, which is the highest the event has raised ever since it started back in 2016. A record amount of 679 donors donated, which were a mix of students, alumni, faculty, staff, and friends of the university. According to Christian Grundy, Interim Executive Director of Institutional Advancement, the generosity will be deeply impactful, and thanks to all donors for their support. Have you ever heard screaming on Ashland University's campus on a quiet afternoon? Well, don't be afraid. It's just the weekly Philosophy Club's Scream. AUTV 20's Ella Cummins has more about the Scream.
While Ashland University may be small, the campus expresses itself in big ways. To those new to campus, the first sound of a loud scream may be alarming or even frightening. To campus veterans, the sound is known as the weekly Philosophy Club Scream. What is the Scream, you may ask?
We've been asked that by many people. It is simply an opportunity for students to get together and find a way to release all of their angst. That's really all it is. We gather at the flagpole. This semester it's 3 o'clock on Thursdays. We gather at the flagpole at exactly 3 o'clock. You know, someone's watching the time. They say, go. And I say, why do we scream? And everyone says, no reason. 3, 2, 1. And we just yell at the top of our lungs. If you've never done it before, it's an incredibly cathartic experience. It really is. It changes you a little bit. A lot of people, we try to get them. We try to recruit some people along the way. People are walking along the quad, say, hey, come scream with us. Sometimes they do. Sometimes people look at us weird. And they'll say, like, we don't scream. Like, of course you do, right? You scream inside. You do. Like, just come scream with us. It takes 10 seconds. Why do we scream?
No reason.
3, 2, 1.
The Scream occurs weekly on Thursdays at 3 p.m. for the year of 2022-23. If given the chance to release the woes of the week, would you scream?
The Philosophy Club holds screams every week at 3 p.m. in the quad at the flagpole, and everyone is welcome to join.
In local news, March Madness has reached the classroom of Shelby school teacher Natalie Shell. Her second grade class did a March Madness bracket, but instead of focusing on basketball, they focused on books. Shell picked out 32 books ahead of time to create the bracket. Each day, the students would read the 2 books and vote on which was their favorite. The next day, Shell would tell them the winner. After completing the entire bracket, the winner was the book titled, Can I Be Your Dog? It's almost showtime. Shine's Theater is in its final stages and will soon be open to the public. AUTV 20's Kyle Dorshuk takes an inside look at the renovations.
For AUTV 20, I'm Kyle Dorshuk. Over my left shoulder is the Ashland Shines Theater, which is currently under construction and planned to be reopened within the coming months. Come inside and let's take a look at what's sure to become a staple of the Ashland community.
My name's Chris Skinner. I'm the executive director here at the Ashland Theater. Well, myself, I'm relatively new to the game. I've been here about 7 months, and the progress that's been made since I've been here has absolutely been remarkable. Originally, the theater was built in 1942 and opened as a Shines brand movie theater. It had a successful run for many decades, but unfortunately, in the early 2000s, it started to see a decline in participation and eventually went out of business in 2009, I believe. It sat vacant for about a decade while the community tried to rally around and figure out how to save the building, which eventually they did, and work has been in progress to restore the theater for about 7 years now. Oh, it couldn't have been completed without the generosity of numerous benefactors. The initial attempts to revive the theater, though noble, ultimately didn't progress quickly because of the lack of funds. And through the generosity of numerous benefactors, large benefactors, was the project able to progress forward. I'm really pleased to see that the money has been well spent to get the best of both worlds, a little homage to the past and, modern influences to make it work for today's people.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I think I would go. I think it would make students get out of their comfort zone more because right now we stay on campus a lot.
A special thanks to Chris for his tour, and a special thanks to Lauren for her input as a student. For AUTV 20, I'm Kyle Dorshak.
Once the theater is open, it is sure to be an attraction around the Ashland community, and everyone is looking forward to it.
When Good Afternoon Ashland returns, we will learn more about Bob and Jan Archer and how an Ashland University alumni's opera career has taken off.
Stay tuned. You're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
No matter where life has drawn you, every step has taken you deeper into the journey God has for you. And now you're here. All the pain, all the joy, everything you've experienced, endured, it's all led to right now. Prepared by your past, your future awaits. Take your next step forward in faith.
You should expect a lot from your college experience. No matter where you're from or where you want to go, Ashland University promises to give each student what they need to succeed. The Ashland Promise offers lifelong connections, unlimited possibilities, and real-world opportunities. The Ashland Promise ensures affordable tuition, a transformative education, and a community of respect that will set you up for whatever success means to you. And that's truly just the beginning. Discover your promise at ashland.edu/promise.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. Ashland University alumni Shanae Curtis's opera career has taken off a lot since graduating. Curtis, who earned her bachelor's from AU in 2012, just finished performing the opera Falstaff in San Jose and is now in London with the English National Opera for Janine Tessori's Blue. Curtis's upcoming opera is set in Harlem, New York, and explores the role of police in African-American family dynamics and community. Curtis will be playing a few of the supporting characters in the show. Bob and Jan Archer are two well-known names in the Ashland community and are known for their generosity in donations. AUTV 20's Bryn Micey sits down with the Archers to find out more about them and the projects they have donated to, like the Archer Auditorium at Ashland High School.
Today I'm joined by local leaders and staples of the Ashland community, Robert and Janet Archer. Thank you both for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so can you guys start off by explaining where you're from and how you met?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're both from Tuscarawas County. New Philadelphia was mine, Yerkesville for Bob.
Which is now Claymont.
And we actually met in the 8th grade at the county spelling bee, and he outspelled me. So that's how we met.
Well, perfect. So
but we really didn't get together until college. And he was at Case, and I was at Baldwin Wallace, and so across town, so we finally got together.
Nice. So Bob, I know Eagle Rubber brought you to Ashland. Can you explain what it is and what you now do currently?
Well, I'm in the water sports business now. And 6 of us bought Kent Water Sports in 1981. And we've grown it nicely, and anything to do with water, we do. And we're also in snow.
Perfect. And what was your first connection to Ashland University?
Oh, well, when we first both moved here. He came first, of course, and then when the children and I came, the Madrigal Feast had its first opening, and we went to it, and we absolutely loved it. And that kind of was how I got started with spending quite a bit of time here with the different things. But we loved the feast, and we've gone to all of them since.
And I got attracted by all the sports. I liked football and basketball. Because back then, you know, the basketball team would come out to the Harlem Globetrotters theme. They were really, Bill Musselman was coach when I first came here. And, you know, he's a legend in his own time, but he's dead now. But his son still coaches at Arizona. So I love the sports.
And why did you decide to give to AU?
Well, again, as I said, we got so involved with different parts, of course, the music, and I got involved with the nonviolence group early on, and it just made sense. So I'll let Bob.
My answer is, Jan and I both, our parents didn't have a lot of money, and we both got scholarships to go to college. And so the fact that if I wouldn't have gotten that scholarship, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So when we got to a situation where we had some money, the only thing to do is give back, and we're giving back as best we can because we believe in scholarships. Kids need an opportunity. Let's face it, college is very expensive today, so we're doing all we can to help them get here.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Well, plus the university is very vital to the community, and the fact that we are quite involved in the community too just made a natural combination.
And why do you guys choose to donate to institutions of higher education? Because I know that Ashland University isn't the only one you've donated to.
She gives to Baldwin Wallace.
Baldwin Wallace,
we
and
give
then
to Kent State University. And again, it's now Case Western Reserve, but I give it to the Case alumni side because I graduated from Case Institute of Technology. And back when I went, it was all men.
And also to I have a master's degree at Akron U, so we give to both Baldwin Wallace and Akron U for me.
And I got my MBA from Kent State, so we give there also.
He has the two, and we have the two.
So I know when I interviewed you guys previously, you mentioned doing challenge gifts with Kent State. What are challenge gifts, and why do you do them?
That's Bob's question.
Well, for example, Kent State, they needed to build a new business building. Of course, obviously, when I got my MBA there in business, and they started a campaign. They wanted to raise $20 million, and the state would come up with the rest to build a $70 million new business building. So they were struggling. So I said, okay, I had given them $1 million already. So I said, if you guys get to 20 million, I'll give you another $1 million. Well, then along came a guy named Crawford, and he stepped up and gave 20. So we made the goal. And of course, now the second floor is going to be the Robert M. and Janet Archer business floor. So we like that.
Yeah. What is one of the challenge gifts you guys did on campus here at Ashland?
Okay, again for
you
Bob.
Go ahead.
I think that's your territory. I'm drawing a blank as to, we give to several. And again, I would just add that obviously it helps other people pitch in and do the share, which helps the bottom line for the organizations.
But my intent is, you know, if we're going to give $1 million for something and they need two, other people need to step up and help. And I think what it does, you know, everybody likes to keep up with the Joneses. So if we do something, some people say, well, I don't want Archer to outdo me. For example, Dan Niss, he hates to see me give more than he does.
That's good. So,
So Jan, I know you're involved with the community quite a bit. What positions have you held and what work have you done for our community?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, when we first came, I was involved with community things, and I was a music major, actually, but I found I really liked community. So I went back and got an advanced degree, and then my first job was as a health planner in the whole area-wide area. We thought we could contain healthcare costs at the time. But anyway, then when that was over with, the Samaritan Hospital hired me as a planner. And then from there, United Way hired me as a director. And I loved that because it got me involved with all parts of the community and the university and so on. And then after I wore myself out of 10 years doing that, I was asked to be director of the Leadership Ashland program. So that was it for my formal positions. So
So there's a term you used when I interviewed you before, communitarian. Could you explain what that term is?
Well, it's a made-up word, actually, but obviously community, and it just, to me, it was kind of a fun thing to say because I just love getting to know all parts of a community and what makes it tick. And of course, I had many volunteer positions, which exposed me to some of my other loves, like the music and the arts and so on. So, and then the nonviolence group. So it just kind of was an all-encompassing term.
Nice. And then my last question I have for you, why is giving and volunteering important?
Well, as Bob said, we've been blessed. We came from nothing. My parents were both teachers, and so I was one of 5. So we learned early on that you rely on others, and when you have the opportunity to give, you give back.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for sitting down with me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Caitlin and Ethan, back to you.
Thanks, Bryn, for sitting down with Bob and Janet Archer to learn more about them and their impact in the community.
Recently, the Ashbrook Scholars Program put on a production of Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. AUTV 20's Lauren Golden got a look at the play's production and to meet some of the cast members.
Today I got the chance to speak to the Midsummer Night's Dream director, Sabrina Maristella, and many other actors in the Ashbrook play.
Drink against her lips, I drink against her lips, I bob, and on her withered dewlap, pour the ale.
What is A Midsummer Night's Dream about?
It is about a lot of things. It's about, there's a love square going on. It's about truth. It's about love, revenge. There's a little bit of everything in there for everyone.
What is your favorite part of being in this show?
My favorite part is just like the community of people. I haven't been able to be involved very much because I was in the musical at the beginning of the semester, but now that I am, everyone's very welcoming and it's just a very nice experience.
What can an audience member expect from seeing this?
An audience member can expect to just have a good time. We have some fun things going on. Some really talented people are in this cast. Just like, it's a good community kind of show.
A Midsummer Night's Dream will perform on Hugo Young Theater stage on March 31st at 7 p.m., April 1st at noon and 5 p.m., and is free and open to the public. From AUTV 20, I'm Lauren Golden.
Even though the show has wrapped up, the Ashbrook Scholars Program looks to continue next year with another Shakespeare play. AUTV 20's Caitlin Meeks got to take an exclusive tour of the Leo and Laura Thomas Numismatic Center located on the 6th floor of the Archer Library. Here is an inside look at the Numismatic Center.
Have you ever wondered what's on the 6th floor of the Ashland University Library? Well, it is home to the Leah and Laura Thomas Numismatic Center, which houses hundreds of coins and one of Ashland University's many hidden gems.
It really began with Leo and Laura Thomas, who were coin dealers here in Ashland. And they dealt with a lot of Ashlanders who traded their coins and bought and sold. Senator Tom Van Meter, who was on the board, encouraged me to fly to Washington, D.C. to visit the director of the Mint, Donna Pope. Donna Pope was very encouraged about this and contributed some wonderful things from the U.S. Mint. Everything else is owned by the university and contributed by people that are enthusiastic about numismatics. The goals are to introduce this center and the capabilities of expanding the students' minds to do a research. Any student that has any curiosity in any subject, whether it be history, something about scarcity, economics, we want to encourage you young folks to expand your knowledge through coins and currency.
For AUTV 20, I'm Caitlin Meeks.
If you are interested in taking a tour of the Numismatic Center for yourself, contact Bud Ingman, director of the Numismatic Center, at budden@zoominternet.net. When Good Afternoon Ashland comes back, we will go over to the sports desk with Cade Krakis.
You're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
No matter where life has drawn you, every step has taken you deeper into the journey God has for you. And now you're here. All the pain, all the joy, everything you've experienced, endured, it's all led to right now. Prepared by your past, your future awaits. Take your next step forward in faith.
You should expect a lot from your college experience. No matter where you're from or where you want to go, Ashland University promises to give each student what they need to succeed. The Ashland Promise offers lifelong connections, unlimited possibilities, and real-world opportunities. The Ashland Promise ensures affordable tuition, a transformative education, and a community of respect that will set you up for whatever success means to you. And that's truly just the beginning. Discover your promise at ashland.edu/promise.
Thanks, Ethan and Caitlin. I'm Cade Krakis, and this is your sports news in Ashland and around Ohio. The Ashland University winter and spring seasons have been eventful ones. The men's basketball team took home a conference championship before being knocked out in the opening round of the NCAA Division II postseason tournament. The team's loss came against former GLIAC rival in the Ferris State Bulldogs, who downed them 71-70 in heartbreaking fashion. After the loss occurred, freshman guard Derek James announced he was entering into the NCAA transfer portal. While the Eagles will lose James for the coming season, the team looks to bring in newcomers this offseason. They finished the season with an overall record of 22-10. On the other side of things, successful would be an understatement for the season the women's basketball team had. They were able to rout an undefeated regular season, conference title, and Midwest regional title before running the table in the Elite Eight and Final Four, securing a spot in the Division II National Championship. Up against the 32-3 Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, the Eagles showed very little signs of struggle as they pulled off the program's third national championship victory, with the scoreline sitting 78-67. The team was led by stellar performances from veteran forward Annie Roshak and graduate guard Hallie Heidemann throughout the tournament. AUTV 20 reporter and news producer Ethan Jenkins was out in Dallas, Texas for the championship and got to witness history as head coach Kerry Pickens became the first NCAA Division II head coach to win a national championship as a head coach, assistant coach, and player.
The Ashland University women's basketball team capped off a perfect 37-0 season with a win in the national championship game versus the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, 78-67. This is the third title now in program history, and also the third title head coach Kerry Pickens has won. One as a player, one as an assistant coach, and now one as a head coach. Head coach Kerry Pickens said this is her favorite title win that she's had, and her players have enjoyed bringing her third title as well.
The girls asked me on my way over here what championship has been my favorite to be a part of. And no offense to the other ones, because I loved the other teams as well, but this team has been so incredibly special to me for their selflessness and how much they came together, that this one tops the cake for me. It's a great group, and I'm really thankful that I had the privilege to coach them.
Playing for Coach P is so special. I love her to death. I mean, I look up to her so much. She's an awesome person, and I would say she puts so much work into our team. So winning for her is just, I mean, amazing. It just makes us all feel so good.
Yeah, if I can add to that. I wouldn't be the person or the player I am without Coach P. And so huge credit to her. I'm so grateful that we were able to do this. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment to do it as a player, as an assistant, as a head coach, and she's never going to say that. She's going to deflect it back to us, which is another thing that's super cool about her, the way that she loves us. There's nobody else I'd rather play for.
I agree with all of them, of course. And I can't really put it into words, but the way that Coach P has influenced my life, and I'm sure my teammates, not only on the court but off, just seeing a strong woman, of her and her family, and how she just carries herself as such an inspiration as a young female, and I will never thank her enough for that. And just the way that she's helped me in my faith as well. You don't find at other places. You will never find a coaching staff or a head coach like we have here, and so I'm so thankful to be a part of a team with her leading it.
Ashland, at the end of the 2023 campaign, now sits at the mountaintop of Division II and has cemented themselves as one of the top programs to ever play women's basketball. For AUTV 20, I'm Ethan Jenkins.
The team finished with a 37-0 overall record, the second time they've done so in program history. Outside of Eagle basketball, in their first season in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference, the Eagle stunt team dominated the conference. After downing the Ashland Arrows in the semifinal round of the conference tournament 22-0, they entered into the championship game with confidence against the Hiram College Terriers. When all was said and done, the Eagles pulled off a 22-3 win, hoisting the Great Midwest Athletic Conference title. The team now heads into the stunt national tournament with a 13-4 overall record. The tournament will take place from April 27th through the 29th at the University of Texas in Dallas. The Eagles esports teams have been hard at work this season, and since the program's start in 2018, the amount of titles the team plays has grown tremendously. AUTV 20 sports reporter William Courier has more on the developing team.
Dang it. Well, I'm not too good at video games, but I know who is, and that is the Ashland University esports team. Ashland University is known for many of its athletics, one of them being esports.
So my name is Alec Mueller. I'm the head esports coach here at Ashland, and our program started in 2018. We have 7 varsity sports here, our 7 game titles that we support. The coaching, has a lot to do with things in game as well as out of the game, like the mental fortitude, different things like that, keeping a positive mindset while playing. So it's a multitude of things. There's a whole lot that goes into it.
Ashland University was one of the first schools to ever take part in esports, and it is not stopping anytime soon.
Just continuing to grow. The future of esports is growing. I mean, when we started in 2018, we were like the 8th school to join NACE, and now there's 300 plus schools involved, and you only see more and more schools getting involved each year. So I can only see it going up from here.
The future of esports is only going up. Ashland kind of started something, with their own program, and then just slowly over the country, everybody's kind of building up esports, so it's only going up from here. Competitions are getting bigger, tournaments are getting bigger, it's spreading nationwide, and eventually I think it's going to go worldwide, so we can compete against people from, overseas in Europe and Germany and stuff like that.
For AUTV 20, I'm William Courier.
As the 2023 spring season draws to a close, some teams look to compete in summer tournaments before returning back to campus in the fall. And lastly, March Madness has officially come to a close. Ohio produced a grand total of 10 Division I teams that appeared in the postseason tournament. Kent State University and Xavier University saw their men's basketball teams play in the tournament, while Cleveland State University, Ohio State University, and the University of Toledo had their women's teams selected for the NCAA tournament. Additionally, the University of Cincinnati, the University of Toledo, and Youngstown State University men's basketball teams, and the Bowling Green State University and Kent State University women's teams participated in the National Invitational Tournament. Although there were countless teams representing Ohio, none were able to take home a national title at the Division I level. That's all for sports from Ashland and Ohio. It's time to send it back to the news desk with Caitlin and Ethan for more.
Thanks, Cade. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. To keep up with AUTV20, be sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV20.
Stay tuned in to 88.9 WRDL, AU student-run radio station at 88.9 FM and online at WRDLFM.com.
Also pick up a copy of the award-winning newspaper The Collegian and check out ashland-collegian.com for more news and content from the JDM department. We would like to thank the crew here today at AUTV20 for making this all possible. I'm Ethan Jenkins.
And I'm Caitlin Meeks. Thanks for watching.